Welcome to NYC. What you're about to see is an informal survey with totally random New Yorkers.
People are giving $50 to homeless people for bad reasons.
Don't make me get canceled.
Prison is a place where there's absolutely no one in there you could trust.
Stay tuned to the end to find out how ancient philosophers would answer the question of, does a good heart actually make the world a better place? Let's dive into this moral maze. You have two persons, Bob and Greg. They're sitting down watching the same commercial. It's putting out a call, right, to give money for a charity organization. Greg watches this commercial. He doesn't feel anything, but out of social duty, he gives a $50. Bob, he's moved with compassion. And out of that, he gives $50. Both of them give the exact same amount of money, $50, to the same organization. Who would you say is more moral, Bob or Greg?
We don't know who's more morally right or wrong because we don't know them. 27 years of my life was spent in prison.
How did your serving time shaped and informed your perspective on morality and about judging people?
I can't look at a person and say, oh, he's more morally correct or not because of what he's saying or doing, because he could be the biggest bitch. He shows all this moral compassion and everything, right?
Yeah, the philosopher and theologian Thomas Aquinas says to love is to will the good of the other, because the actions don't necessarily reveal the heart.
I found Christ in prison, and now I'm free. I'm free emotionally, mentally. So it's more about the heart. Things happen to people that they have no control, right? I try to judge people based on time.
Getting to know the person.
Exactly, right? Because we're always going to judge no matter what.
Do you think having a good heart makes the world a better place?
There's a lot of people that have good hearts and good character that are just basically ineffective. So, I mean, it's very, very good that they wake up in their houses and they love their neighbors. But if you don't like open your door and walk outside and interact with your neighbor, you're not making the world a better place by default because you had the right prayers on the television when you woke up.
Of the two, who is more moral?
Well, so I think it makes sense that Bob would have a better heart because he was moved with compassion, but I don't think that's something you can control. Like, if that's something that's not in your control, I don't think that should be as important as something that's in your side of your control.
So philosophers like Aristotle, Confucius, Plato, they will in effect disagree. So they would say focus more on the cultivation of the character, not so much on the action, because if you get the character right, you're getting the source of the actions right. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it makes sense. It's like the difference between you have like this tree of your existing beliefs. Yeah. It's the difference between having that and then trying to go against it versus uprooting that old tree and planting a new one, which makes it a lot easier to do the good thing.
If I saw an advert on the telly and I was like, oh, that makes me really sad, I'd think about donating money. But also I know people like my parents, for example, who have more disposable income, who donate regularly because it's like a moral duty. It is a moral thing for them. So I don't think either person's wrong in that situation.
The ancient philosophers will say, put a greater premium on the formation of the person, and they will end up doing the right thing. Yeah. The modern philosophers, they'll say, yeah, just focus on the act.
To be honest, I do lean towards that. I think most people are good people on the whole.
All right.
I think people that are labelled as having a bad character is usually because someone hurt them in their childhood or something like that,
Perhaps.
or they lived through a situation that was really horrible and therefore they act like that.
Let's say Bob, instead of being moved by compassion, let's say he gives it $50, but he does it out of spite. He's like, look at these poor fools who are dying at this. Let me go ahead and give $50, but I find this absolutely humorous. He still does the right action, but he is enjoying the misfortune. Does that not make a difference?
I don't think it does, no. In this case, if you're donating money or not, if you have a good heart or not, because the money doesn't have any heart.
You don't think the character of the person matters?
No, because I don't think the money has character.
Who do you think is more moral?
I think that the guy that wants to donate it because he has a social responsibility, I would agree with. In all honesty, in order to have a thriving community or society, you can't do it alone. And I think that we just kind of almost inherently have a social duty.
Now let's get into some philosophical context. Ancient philosophers like Plato, Aristotle, and Confucius believed that having a good heart is crucial for making the world a better place. Let's say Greg is someone who does the right thing because he feels he should, but he doesn't really show feelings like compassion. This suggests he's not fully developed in his moral character. On the other hand, Bob represents a more complete approach to being virtuous. He not only does his duty, but also genuinely cares about others. His actions are driven by empathy as well as responsibility, making him a more well-rounded individual. According to these ancient thinkers, Bob's way of living, combining both moral action and emotive virtues, contributes more to a harmonious society and leads to a truly good life. A person's character, not just their actions, is very important in the moral universe. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more Street Philosophy TV. Since you made it to the end of this video, you'll probably also enjoy another thought experiment video.